Charlie. I'm the retail brand ambassador at Elvie. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Elvie product range. We're going to cover all the technical aspects of our products, but also how these products can really improve the lives of women. Before I talk about the products themselves, I always like to start by talking about our founders. So Elvie was founded by a lady called Tanya Bowler. Tanya is recognised internationally for her work in women's health. She studied at Stanford University, Oxford University. She went on to do her PhD at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine. She went on to do work for the United Nations, and she also held a senior leadership position at the Marie Stopes Foundation, which is a huge charity. It's international, and it educates women around sexuality education. So Tanya is super passionate about women's health, and also really just talking about those taboo topics that people don't really like to talk about. Elvie Pump was brought to market in 2018, and really what we wanted to do was target a category of breast pumps that had not been reinvented and had not moved on for nearly 50 years. We did a huge survey with women, real mums, pumping women, and we surveyed them to really try and establish what the pain points of pumping are. So what they find difficult and hard and uncomfortable about pumping. And as you can imagine, we had quite a big response. Many women said they felt like a cow when they were pumping. There were concerns around the number of parts, how long they spend cleaning and sterilizing. Most pumps have tubes and they can have moisture build up in them. That moisture can then become moldy, really difficult to clean. Women were fed up that they had to hold the funnels over their breasts and they, didn't have any hands. The noise of pumps, really difficult to pump in the night without waking up the whole house. The list was quite extensive. There were a lot of pain points. As I mentioned, this is a category that hadn't moved on for a really long time. And at Elvie, we recognised that this needed to change, that the technology for breast pumps needed to move on and really fit in with women's lives and fit their bodies. So we brought to market Elvie Pump in 2018. So Elvie Pump is a smart, wearable device. It's ultra quiet. It fits inside your bra, so you can pump on the go. So how does Elvie Pump work? So you simply turn it on, you place it inside your bra, you press play, and you can pump whilst you go about your day-to-day life. It collects the milk in this bottom part here. So what I'm going to do is just show you all of the kind of buttons and technical aspects, and then we can talk a bit more about how this really improves women's lives. So on the front of the pump here, we've just got this sort of circular area here that just contains all the buttons essentially. So we've got the on-off button here, we've got the play pause button here, and then we've got plus and minus, which is the intensity settings. There are 7 different intensity settings. That's when we talk about that, that's strength of suction, not necessarily speed of suction. And then this little button here is the left and right, and we'll talk more about that in a moment because that's how it kind of links to the app. So we'll talk about the app also in a moment. So that's really all there is to it in terms of the buttons on the front there. This button here is the bottle release button, and we'll have a look at that in a moment. And then on the side here, you've got the USB port. So again, this charges via USB. It takes 2 hours to fully charge the pump. And once it's charged, you can get 2.5 hours of use. It's really hard to determine how long that 2.5 hours might last for a woman because every woman is so unique when it comes to length of time that they pump. But if we think of a pumping session anywhere between 15 minutes and half an hour, you could be looking at kind of 6 pumping sessions a day. So it should, in theory, last a woman for the duration of a day. this is the bottle release button. So as we push that in, you can see that the bottle just comes out here. The bottle is BPA free. It can store 5 ounces of milk. So it's got the milk markers on the back there. Hopefully you can see that. So it stores 5 ounces of milk, which is 150 mils. And then on top here, you've got the spout and valve. So when this is full with milk, you can use a bottle or a breast milk storage bag to decant the milk quite easily out of the bottle through the spout and into the however you're storing the milk in the bottle or the bag. So this section here, you can just twist off. So when you buy the pump, it also comes with a lid for this as well. So this bottle can go in the fridge or freezer. So you can store your milk in the fridge or freezer in the bottle itself. When you buy the single pump, you get 2 bottles in the box. When you buy the double pump, you get 4 bottles. These bottles are also available to purchase separately in a 3-pack. So on the back of the pump, we've got the breast shields. So as you can see here, it just simply slots out. So you just kind of tuck your finger in and just pull it out. It's that simple. And on the top here, this is called the seal. So this just really helps with the suction. It just kind of slots in there and helps create a really good suction. So I'm just going to remove that for a minute so we can focus on the breast shields. So the breast shields come in 3 different sizes. What we didn't want to do was call them small, medium and large. So what we've done is given them shapes. So we've got the circle, the triangle and the square. The circle is 21 millimeters, the triangle is 24 millimeters, the square is 28 millimeters. So in my hand now, I'm holding the triangle. So if I just tip it up like that, you can see the shape there. And then you can see the markers there that really help kind of to establish which one is the best fit for the user. So the best thing to do so when you buy the pump, when you buy single or double, inside the box, you get the triangle and the square. We don't include the circle, which is the 21 millimeter. However, that's available to purchase separately. What we recommend is that women kind of tip the shield upside down so that the markers are at the top. So then what happens is the mum can look down and see how that lines up as she puts it on her breast and check that her nipple sits nicely between the two lines. So what we're looking for is the nipple to sit nicely within the black lines. We don't want the nipple kind of spilling over, but we also don't want it to have lots of space either side. For women that aren't sure, if they feel that they're not sure whether they should use the triangle or the square, they both come in the box. So we would just recommend try both, see which is most comfortable and see which one you get the best milk output from. So I'm just going to pop that seal back on there and slot it in. And that is all of the components of the pump. So that's all the washable parts. You've got the shield and the seal, and then you've got the bottle with the spout and the valve. So I'm going to talk to you now about the how we monitor the milk volume in the bottle. And this is probably my favorite bit of tech when we talk about Elvie Pump. So underneath the bottle, I'm just going to take the bottle out actually and show you the black semicircular part here is an infrared reader. So what that's doing is it's constantly sending a light signal to the bottom of the bottle and back to the top. So what that's doing, straighten that up a minute. So you can see the infrared reader there through the bottle. So what it's doing is it's sending a light signal down and back up. So as the milk volume rises, that bounce gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter until it's right at the top. So that's how the pump knows when to stop. That when the milk volume is at the top, the pump will automatically stop. That's because that reader is constantly monitoring how much milk is in the bottle. And also on the app, and we'll talk more about the app in a moment, you can see in real time how much milk is in the bottle. So most pumps on the market have a 2-phase pumping system. So that is when the pump has a stimulation mode and an expression mode. So the stimulation mode and expression mode are really designed to mimic how a baby truly breastfeeds on the breast. So as the baby latches on, the baby will do a much faster suckling motion, and it's really signaling to the breast, I'm here and I'm hungry and I want feeding. And then the breast basically triggers letdown, which is when the milk actually leaves the nipple. And then when the baby tastes that milk, it will take a much deeper latch and do a much slower drinking motion. So that's the two-phase pumping system on pumps. We have a stimulation mode that does a much faster pumping, which helps to stimulate that letdown. And then when you change it to expression mode, it will do a much slower and kind of drawn out suction on the breast. So most pumps on the market have this technology. Elvie Pump does, of course. But what I love most is that the infrared reader will detect when the letdown has happened and change the modes automatically. So when you turn Elvie Pump on, you put it in your bra, you press play, it automatically starts on stimulation mode. So it's really helping to trigger that letdown. When that infrared reader detects that milk in the bottle, it will automatically switch to expression mode, which I think is just awesome. So this is a ultra quiet pump. It's very, very quiet. You can use it in the middle of the night. It just makes a really nice little kind of heartbeat sound when you hold it right up to your ear. It's really uninvasive. And, you know, if you were sat in a cafe, nobody would know that you were pumping if it was inside your bra. It's wearable, so it's small, it's lightweight, it can be worn inside a standard nursing bra. It makes pumping truly hands-free. There's nothing to tie you down, nothing to slow you down. It's completely hassle-free, so from setup to cleanup, using Elvie Pump is simple. It just has 5 parts that you need to clean. It takes seconds to assemble, so no cords, no wires. So yeah, really, really hassle-free and simple to use. The pump is smart, so we're just going to, in a moment, talk about how this connects to an app and kind of the additional information you can get from the app. And it's responsive. So as I was just explaining, it automatically switches from stimulation to expression mode. When it detects letdown, it will automatically stop when the bottle is full. It's one less thing for the mum to think about. So I'm just going to touch on the app now. So there are 3 main features of the Elvie Pump app. The first thing is that you can control your pump from your phone on the app. So the controls, as you open up the Elvie Pump app, the controls will be there. You can change the intensity settings and you can play and pause the pump. So if we really think about how that might work in day-to-day life, if you were wearing this pump and say you were in the supermarket, you wouldn't have to reach inside your bra to turn it up or down or on or off. You can do it from your phone. The second feature is it tells you your milk volume in real time. So it kind of has an image of the bottle, and it kind of, again, has the milk markers, and it has like a water line, so you can see the milk rising. So again, if you were out and about and you wanted to know, you know, how much milk have I pumped so far, without having to reach in your bra and pull the pump out and have a good look, you can just look at your phone and it will tell you in real time. Again, thanks to that infrared reader. And then we've got full pumping history on the app. So that's the third big feature, is the history, pumping history. So it tells you every single day, each pumping session, and it tells you the time. It kind of goes down in a vertical line like this. When you click on the time, you can tap on it and it will open up into more granular detail and tell you how much you've pumped on your left breast and how much you've pumped on your right breast. So it really helps to kind of create a picture of the baby's feeding patterns and whether you're feeding more at a particular time or less at other times. So that's really important to mums as well. They like to track when their baby's last fed, how long they fed for. And when you first open up the Elvie Pump app, the home screen is simply how much you pumped that day. And it divides it up to your right breast and your left breast. So just going back to the buttons on here. So I just pointed out that this is the left and right button. So when you press it, if it's on left, there'll be a light on the left-hand side. You place it on your left breast and you pump, and the app will monitor how many ounces or mils you pumped from the left breast. Then you can push the button, switch it to right, so the light will move over to the right-hand side. You place it inside your bra, and again pump, and then it will monitor how much you've pumped on your right breast. So you kind of get this visual on the app of how much you've pumped on your right and your left. Again, that's really important for new mums. It's really, you know, breast milk is produced on a supply and demand basis. So really you want to be pumping or feeding kind of the same amount on each side, to help keep that supply good and up on both sides of the breast.